Now, we don't traditionally, when I say we, I mean the African American
Yes.
community, we typically look at a psychologist or a psychiatrist as a stigmatism.
Right.
Uh, is your clientele a mixed clientele, and are we representing you in that population that you serve?
Yes, and you're so right. Our community is really, really in desperate need, and mental health is kind of something
Right.
shoved under the rug. But my clientele it is diverse, but I do have mainly a lot of African Americans. So when it's a little different than them feeling like they're going into a doctor's office, and so when it's the emotional wellness doctor and I'm helping you get emotionally healthy to get to success, it's the way that you present something so that a person doesn't feel like, well, I'm not crazy, I don't need no help.
Right.
Everybody backs away from that. And so
Okay.
when I understood how to get to people's minds, so that I'm not saying that, but saying, yes, you do need help. We all need help.
Right.
So yeah, it opens up the door, and people say, oh my gosh, I need you so badly because I want emotional wellness.
Right, right, absolutely. Well, tell us about your book, If You Are in the Driver's Seat, Why Are You Lost? A Roadmap to an Amazing Life.
Okay, yeah, that's my bestseller. And I wrote that book at the time when I was lost. I was lost in my life because I was married for almost 24 years and went through a divorce and 4 kids later. And I found myself, this was not what I imagined for my life or thought what my life would be like.
Okay.
And I was lost. I had started writing the book prior to being lost, because I was the professional and the expert. So let me tell you how to be found. Well, then I got lost. And so I had to stop writing the book. And I actually went back and modified it because I was coming more from the professional clinical standpoint and not talking about my own journey. And now I had
Okay.
to talk about my journey. So
Right.
when the book opens up, it's like it was Mother's Day and we went to church and went to dinner and came home and he packed his bags. That's a completely different beginning than,
Right.
well, hello, how was life treating you? You know what I'm saying? And you might have felt
Absolutely.
like you were lost at one point in time. So it was really cathartic for me
Okay.
to write and to say, yes, all of what I've been telling people for years, but now I have to practice this in a different way.
Now, was that your wake up call to realize that? Or had you been looming and kind of knowing, hey, things aren't right, I'm a little off balance, I need this or that? Or did that just wake you up when you came home from a beautiful day and then your husband packed his bags and
No,
left?
no, I knew that was coming, and I
Okay.
knew things were off. We had been together for 27 and a half years.
Right.
So I knew the marriage and everything was off, and I actually suggested the separation so we can kind of get some sense of
Clearance.
stability and clarity and everything else. I just didn't know it was coming on that day. And
Okay.
it was Mother's Day, and it was just not what you would think. That's just not how we do this, So that, because I couldn't control that situation, then it was the wake up call there was, even though you're communicating and you're trying to make things work like it would be better to work, you're always not in control
Right.
of a situation when there's another person involved. So,
Right.
yeah.
Wow. Interesting. So, what is the exact roadmap or blueprint to an amazing life? How do we live our best life and ensure that we're living it daily?
Whew. Well, like in the book, it's 15 chapters and they all about
Okay, good.
something a different area of our life. So there's different areas of your life, but the book starts out and everything starts with you. The beginning of any journey is with yourself and getting to know who you are. Most people at our stage and age in life, or just most people, period, in life, don't know themselves. We just don't. We have an
Right.
image of who we think we are. We have an image of what we portray to life and on social media and everything else, how people see us. But really, you understanding who you are, and that's where the journey begins. And it's like, okay, so who am I at this stage? What do I like? What do I even want to do? Where do I want to go? People don't know those kind of questions because they don't ask. They just say, well, I'm not where I want to be. I don't have the job. I don't have the money. I don't have the this. I wish I had. But really, you have to take a look inside and say, well, who am I anyway?
So you have to be accountable for
You
you.
have to be accountable for
And
you.
once you address the accountability
And
of
once
who
you
you are.
address, you can address every other area of your life, including your finances, including your health, including the people that are in your life. A lot of times it's the people that are are in our lives. And I have one chapter that is on the toxic relationships and the people that we have in our life that hold us down, that keep us in a jaded world, because maybe these people are making you believe you're somebody who you're not, or you found yourself intertwined in somebody and you've lost yourself. I mean, it's so
Well, I
many
was just
ways.
having this conversation with someone the other day. We were talking about that, being jaded by people. And you can spend a
Yes,
long time in relationships with other people and be jaded, and then the ball drops. You know, the ball
absolutely.
drops. You wake up, you realize that they weren't who you thought you were.
Yeah.
They
One
were,
who,
and
yeah.
you weren't who you thought you
Yeah.
were, you know, as a result of them.
Or you became the person for them.
Right, right.
So, that's even in girlfriend relationships. It doesn't have to be the romantic relationship that you change and transform, but in some of the relationships you may have with your female friends, or guys with their guy friends, they morph into something different. And when you're separated from that person, you can now be who you are, who you're meant to be, and be yourself and rediscover that. So much of that journey starts there.
Absolutely. So, your therapy obviously teaches people that it's okay to cut the ties. It's okay to go into new circles.
Oh,
Or it's okay to be by
absolutely.
yourself and
Absolutely.
figure yourself out.
And I help people to cut the ties, and I've had to do that myself. And I do evaluations on relationships every 6 months of whoever's in my life. Are
Oh,
they bringing
wow.
value? Or are they not? And will they get energy, or will they get high, medium, or low energy? Some people get none. So you have to
Wow.
do that in order to keep yourself at the space where you need to be, so that you can have that amazing life. If not, I'm telling you, people just creep in there, distract you, weigh you down, and I've just had to do that with a longtime friend, unfortunately. And it's like, what's
Wow.
going on here? This is really not what I need. But it's a way to do it gingerly, because I never suggest to people to burn bridges and say, you know what, you jacking up my life, so you have to go. That's not how the situation works.
Right,
But there's
right,
a way to do that, so that you can clear your space in your head and
right.
find out who you really are.
Right. So, it's fine to cut long term ties.
Yeah.
Right. That
Yeah.
serve you no purpose.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.